Good morning, children. Welcome back to computer science class. I hope you enjoyed your holidays very well. Welcome back after a short break. So before getting into today's topic, I'd like to tell you one thing, that just like a thought. Whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of the God and not for human beings. Welcoming back you. With the same thought, let's get into today's topic. Okay. So now we were dealing with chapter 14 so far. So before getting into the last portion of chapter 14, I'd like to do a quick recap before getting into chapter 14. Okay. So what is chapter 14? Chapter 14 is about importing C++ programs into Python. So what did we deal with it? We dealt with scripting language, difference between scripting and programming language, features of Python over C++, applications of scripting language, importing C++ files in Python, and last, Python program to import C++. So, importing C++ in Python, we saw about again two topics. What is MINGW? It is a compiler. And how to execute C++ through Python program. And then here, importing in C++, we saw about modules and how to import modules. We saw about three types of modules, correct? One is OS module, sys module, and then get OPT module. So this is just a small mind map to recall what we learned so far in chapter 14. Okay. Now we get into chapter 14, the last portion of it. Okay. So what is the last portion? We are going to deal with it now. So importing C++ programs in Python. In this, first we are going to deal with control structures in Python and C++. Second, we are going to see about errors, that is how to debug the errors. And third, we are going to see about arrays. So there are three types of things we are going to see today. So control structures, Python, and the last thing is how to deal with arrays. Correct. Okay, first thing we are going to see about control structures. So control statements. So in control statements, the first topic is what we should do. We have to type a C++ program to check whether the input number is palindrome in a notepad. And we have to save it as PALI hyphen or underscore CPP dot CPP. Second, we are going to see about typing the command. So how to type the command. And third, we are going to see about click the run terminal and open the command window. Run terminal, we are opening the command window. And fourth, we have to get into the folder of Python using cd command. What is cd command? Changing a directory. And next, type the Python program and save it as pali.py. So, we dealt with 5 things. First is typing a program, and then we are typing a command, run terminal, and then folder, and last we are saving the program and executing it. These are the 5 things you should do to execute a program in Python. Okay. So now the first concept, we are going to see an example program for it. So look at this example. It is just to check whether a number is a palindrome or not. Okay. So this is a header file for the C++, and this is the logic, whether we are checking a number is a positive number or not. And then we are reversing it. If we are reversing and getting the same output, it is called as a palindrome. If it is not a right output, then it is not a palindrome. And then we are saving this file. After saving the file, next we are going to see about the steps. So what are the 3 steps we are going to see? Now we are going to select file new in Notepad and type the Python program. So after typing the Python program, we are saving the file as pali.py. And then what's the last step we are doing? We are checking the Python as well as an C++, and this I is called as an input mode. Correct. Okay. So next we are going to see how we are importing the file into Python. So when it comes to import, we have to remember we learnt about SYS, OS, and get OPT. So these are the 3 input modules we have to see. So this is the CPP file, an exe file. This is an optional, and then ARGS is the arguments. Okay, this def I told already in the previous many classes. It is a default system built-in function that you should add when you write a Python program. Correct. So now this is a CPP exe, and then we are running the program, compiling, running, and then we are checking for this compiler. So G++ is called as a compiler, correct? And here you are starting the program, and this is where you are executing the program. There are mainly two important steps, starting and then executing the program. Okay, this is an example how to import it, and then the last step is about we have to see the output. So how the output is there? If it is a palindrome, it's printed as this is a palindrome. If the numbers reversing is not the same thing, we are printing it's not a palindrome. See how they are executing the file. First they are writing the Python program, and then we are using a C++ program. Again Python, and then comes the C++. Python, this comes as the C++. First and then second. Okay, this is how you have to execute a program in Python and then C++. Okay. So now next topic is about how to handle errors. So Python not only allows you to run a program, it also shows you the errors. See, Python not only execute a successful program, it also helps to display even errors if there are anything during the compilation. Okay, now let's see a small program. See the program. So it's using namespace, it's a small program, and then save the file as hello.cpp. We are saving the program as hello.cpp. After saving the program, what's the next step we have to do? The next step is we have to see what are the steps. So I'm repeating the steps in all three topics because you will just used to it how to type it. So opening a notepad, and after opening a notepad, this is main.py, that is the main program, and program is compiling for a CPP, and then the main program is executed from the Python. So opening a notepad, main program, executing, and after executing Python main.py-i. Okay, this is how the steps. And then the next thing we are going to see how to run a program in Python. How we are going to run a program in Python? Let's see here. See, already the same thing, there is no changes. Okay, here CPP is there, exe file is there, and then the command line. So I stands for input and O stands for output. Good. Okay, so now this is a C++ program, this is a Python program. These are the two types of programs. And then print, we are going to compile it. Already told you there are 5 important steps. First is CPP, and second is Python. Third, you are going to compile it, and then you are using the G++ compiler, running the program. After running the program, this is also an important steps. We are checking for a condition. This checking remains in Python and then in C++. Very good. Okay. And now the next thing is we are going to see the output. What is the output? Obviously there will be an error. Good. Okay. Now let's see what is the error for it. See, they have printed the output. In compilation, there is an error. So what happens here? See, error expected before return. So this is an error. Okay. When return statement, there won't be a semicolon. Though return statement, it is not recognized as an internal or an external command. That's why it throws an error. So this is a good example which says C++ and Python is not only successful in compilation, it also lists out the errors. Good. Okay. Now next we move into the third topic. So what is the third topic? The third topic is Python program executing C++ program containing arrays. Good. Okay. And now we are going to see a program for an array. So first of all, what is an array, children? Yes, array, when we want to store a long digit of numbers, we are using arrays. Good. Okay. Now see this program here. Same C++ is here. We are using here matrix. Okay, you know about max, you are learning max. So we are using matrix. So if it is 3, 3, you will be having 3 rows and then 3 columns. That is the concept of 3 of 3. Okay. They are printing or entering the value, asking you to, this is the logic. What is this? Transpose of a matrix. What is transpose? Wherever in horizontal will be placed in vertical, the vertical will be placed in the horizontal, vice versa. So that is called as transpose of matrix. And now we are going to see a transpose of matrix example. You are returning a value over here in C++. Okay, and now we are going to see the steps, then example. Okay, see how they are importing it in C++ in Python. So the same thing is over here. Again CPP, C++, Python, exe file. You have CPP, exe file. What's the third thing? Compiling, running, and then using a G++ compiler. They are checking whether both are equal. All these are default syntax. There will be no change. All these are default, and then it is very important. All these are default. Okay. So you have to go through all these statements. So whatever you write, and just the program name alone will be getting changed. Okay. So now we will see the output of it. What would be the output of this program? Transpose of a matrix. So as I told you, the vertical, the horizontal will be placed in vertical, and here and see here, and then the same thing is displayed here. Okay, this is an example for an transpose of a matrix, that is arrays. It's a very small chapter and very small topics we dealt with today. I'm repeating it. First thing we saw about, yes, arrays, and then second thing we saw about conditional statements, and thirdly we saw about error handling. Okay, I'm repeating: conditional statements, error handling in Python. Last thing we saw about arrays. Arrays is used to store long number of values. Lastly, we will see about an syntax. What is the syntax in each and every program? What is the syntax? See here how this is being displayed. See, the Python script program in this chapter is mainly used to read the C++ file along with the mode. What is mode? It can be either input or output mode. It phrases each value of a command line and passes to the argument to the list called OPTS. The entire C++ code is referenced for reading by long options. That is I file along with the mode. Correct. Okay, and then let's see the second thing. What's the second thing? You have a syntax over here, and then the list O in for loop contains the mode I, and the variable A contains the C++ file with its complete path. So what is the complete path? This is called as the complete path. Okay, the extension like CPP are added by Python script. So this is called as the entire path. Okay, this is the entire path where the Python and the C++ files are added. Okay, and last is about the hyphen name and then the hyphen. It's not hyphen, it's underscore. Directs the program to start from Python script. So wherever you see the main definition, from there the program starts executing, phrasing and adding the extension. So the run definition invoke the G++ compiler and creates the exe file. So what is G++? G++ is called as a compiler and creates the exe file. Okay, this is called as the syntax. Okay, and this is a very important thing. We learnt about underscore name underscore, and then we learned the example and the list O in for loop. The list O in for loop contains the I mode and A contains the C++ file. Okay, very important thing. And then underscore name underscore, you will learnt it, and then all the modules will be imported like OS, sys and get OPT. Okay, so I think we are very clear about this, children, and I want you to take up your test and all the quizzes topics on time without any errors or without any problem. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Stay safe. Don't go out. Thank you, children.